Welcome to the video lab titration of titration number 1, analysis of vinegar. So our job today is to figure out what the concentration is, the percentage concentration for commercial vinegar. So first thing I did is I took the vinegar and I diluted it 1:1 so that we wouldn't have to waste as much material. Then I made a standardized base, the concentration of which is posted right here. 0.13 normal sodium hydroxide. And if you remember titration from the notes, titration is when you take measured amounts of a known solution and titrate it with measured amounts of an unknown solution. And then you use the equation where there's 4 variables, 3 of which are known, and then so you solve for the concentration of this. And we'll see how close we get. So the first thing we have to do is, it's called conditioning the burette. So you don't know what this burette was last used for. Actually I do, but just for practice. So what you do is you take a certain amount of the base and you pour it right into, and you can see that it's covering the sides, and then you just simply pour this out as waste. That way whatever was in the burette is now flushed out and it's coated with the standardized base that we are using. So we're not affecting the concentration of the standardized base 1 iota, which is very important. That's how precise this practice is. Okay. Then you fill up the burette past the 0 point. And this is the part that most young chemists forget to do. They fill it up right to the 0 point and think they're ready to go. But if you look down at the tip here, there's nothing in the tip. So you have to then fill that part. And now I empty it down to the 0 mark. And if I carefully get it to 0, now we're good to go. Now one thing to notice, the markings start at 0 here and you're draining down and the numbers get bigger as you go, which seems backwards because it is. You're measuring from here down. Okay, so we are now ready to titrate as far as the standardized base is concerned. Now we need to get the unknown ready. It says to take exactly 10 milliliters of the unknown. For that we use a volumetric pipette. We draw the vinegar up and try to stop right at the line, a little above, and then empty it down until we get to the mark. Then we put that into our Erlenmeyer flask. So there's exactly 10 mils. Then it says approximately 10 mils of distilled water, which does not change the amount of acid in there. Okay, the first time I did this I thought, doesn't that dilute the vinegar? Well, it does, but it doesn't change the number of acid molecules in there. It just gives you a bigger sample, a bigger target to look at. Then we have to add an indicator, and the perfect indicator for this is phenolphthalein because it's clear. 1, 2, 3 drops of phenolphthalein. It's clear as an acid, but it turns pink as a base, and you'll see that pretty much right away. So the way that you titrate is you have to control the knob with one hand, and then you swirl with the other, and you can see the pink forming. And then as I swirl, the pink goes away. So if you remember from the lecture, the pink that we want is the first permanent pink. And it's going to be a really faint pink. And we want it as faint as possible, but we want it to persist. So you can see the pink is there, but as soon as I swirl, it goes away. Now, you may be thinking, wow, you're going too fast. Well, I happen to know about how much it's going to take. So the trick is to go fast until you get close to that, And then you slow down the titration amount, the titration rate rather. And then when you get even closer, you slow it down more. It went away. So let's see if I can get one more drop. Common mistake. 3 drops. Okay. So we'll go with it. You zoom in on, it looks like we're at about 32.5. Reading from the top down. No, 32.3. 30. So to save time, I've recharged the burette, but this time you'll notice that I didn't put it up to 0. I read it as 8.55 milliliters. That's our initial reading. Then we'll titrate down about 32 milliliters, somewhere into the 40-something range. And then that'll be our final reading. I also recharged the unknown, 10 mils of acid, 10 mils of water. It's just saving video time. So we can go ahead and titrate, full speed ahead. Swirling as we go. All right, there we go. So what does our burette read? 40.8. 40.85. All right, so to save time, I've refilled the burette. If you'll read the mark, I read it as 5.2, a little over, so 5.21. I also recharged the unknown, and we can titrate away. Pause. So we let it go for a while to save time. It's taking a little while longer for the pink to go away, so I'll slow down the titration rate. Okay, there we have it. We make the reading 37.75 or 37.73 maybe.